Okay, part two. I was getting ready to say it's the same with the Jeezy and Jenny Mai situation. We all know that Hollywood, there are certain things that you have to do, rather embarrass yourself, create a scandal in order to reach the next level if you can endure the embarrassment. We don't necessarily know if the things that we are watching are is something that is actually real, or is it something that is being done as a sacrifice in order for them to go to the next level, and you're willing to endure whatever it is at the moment, and um the public jumps on it not really knowing if it's real or fake. In some ways, I would probably lean towards more this is real. However, that's still up in the air. It's like the Jeezy and Jenny Mai situation. I don't know if anybody knows, but she just now has like a TV show or a television show now. I don't know what it is, but I remember waiting to see some sort of response from her that she had no comment after all of the statements that had came out about their divorce, and how he makes a comment on his page about for someone who's not coming with me, so forth and so on. And then um, her not making one comment, not coming out saying anything, and him not saying anything. They were just people on their channels were using clips and making these thumbnails that made you think that she's come out and she's made a comment about something, when in actuality, they were actually just cutting up clips from the talk show that she was on and news stations and stuff about past comments that she's made, and presenting it as if there was some sort of breaking news. And now, and I knew, I said, in my mind, I was thinking there has to be something else to this Jenny Mai and Jeezy situation. This could have just been all a put on, because now she has a TV station. So keep this in mind, people, that whenever some type of scandal happens, see what happens afterwards and see, because it could very well just simply be staged. Now, with Jenny Mai and Jeezy, um, I just still thought it was interesting that she never did an interview, a comment, or she never said anything in regards to this infamous comment that was made on his Instagram or whatever, and never responded to anything. And all of the news media reporting it, they never actually had a conversation with her after this speculation came about based on Jeezy's comments and him filing for divorce. Am I telling you that the divorce isn't real? Mm-mm. Or is it? Mm-mm. I have no idea. But we can print up fake documents. I mean, we don't know what happens on the other side of the world, um, because of, as we've been told, about 3 to 5 entities run the entire planet. So remember, people, always, please remember, please remember that they say believe none of what you see and half of what you hear. And we are dealing with Hollywood. But I was waiting. I said something has to be going on behind the scenes with Jenny Mai and Jeezy. And sure enough, she's just now coming out with some type of new show of hers. So I figured maybe this was her. The embarrassment was the sacrifice, as opposed to, taking out a family member or something weird like that. But keep that in mind too, people. But in this particular situation, I would have to say that Mr. Pina or Pina was very smart in not paying off anything, letting things go into default, because it then allows him to not to be, the money that was given to him to not be tied to anything, to say he used this money to pay off this, that, and the other, which then causes a bigger problem because then you can't necessarily track it. If he took the money and he went on about his business, um, and they can't find the money, well, they would be able to find it if he was buying things. And not only that, that if he takes all of this money that he has made and he invests it in things literally and for real. And then when the shit hits the fan, oh, pardon my French, but when everything hits the fan, they can seize and sell that off, and they can tie that back directly to him and say this is when he got this money, and then they can say this is what this money was used for. That's why I said that he was very smart, in my opinion. So I would have to have another thought process behind. I don't think he was stupid at all by getting all this money and then using it to pay off his house or pay the bills. And so these this paperwork that has come forth stating that this paperwork that has come forth stating that he didn't pay anything, I believe that was actually a very smart thing to do. um I think seminars. I think that one of the things that I do see and understand is that, like many people said, you're handing over cash to someone somebody that you don't know anything about this man. These are your life savings, and you've given it to someone. You haven't checked him out. You haven't Googled him. You haven't asked to see any type of real estate license. You haven't asked him to, and I get a lot of documents may have been falsified, yada, yada, yada. But on some level, like a lot of people said, some of these cases do kind of make you go, but why would you do that? Because that doesn't make any sense. Why would you give someone $150,000 of money that you've worked your whole life for? And because there's some man that you've never known, never seen, probably never Googled, just said X, Y, and Z. And we know most of the people did it off the back of DJ Envy. And yes, his response to it was peculiar. Yes, it was odd that he would say that he would not also sue this man. He didn't get on TV and was surprised and said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Um, I didn't know." Now, even though most people figured he does know and X, Y, and Z, but let's just say he didn't. His response to it doesn't make any sense. And DJ Envy is probably like, okay, I helped this man rake in $80 million. He gonna give me 40. He gonna give me 30. He gonna give me 10. If my whole reputation is ruined behind it, but I got a good coin, it doesn't really make a difference to me at this point, right? Um, you can't tie any of the money to me. So to me, I feel like it could have been a plan that Caesar said, yeah, you can go ahead and snitch on me because at the end of the day, they're not gonna find me. They're not gonna find the money. I was smart enough not to pay anything off. I let everything go into default. They're not gonna be able to track it, and they're not gonna be able to do anything, even though we know that there is a way that he can be held accountable. But I mean, in terms of being able to find him at this point. Now, maybe reports have come out or will come out about some sort of track record. Right now, I haven't seen it, but I do believe that, yes, DJ Envy's response on The Breakfast Club is strange for him to say, oh, I knew, but just so calm about it. This man has defrauded all of these people, and you know darn well that your name would have allowed these people to jump on the bandwagon. You know that, and I don't know that. Do the people bear responsibility? Absolutely. But for him to say that no, 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 nobody's gonna buy that. We all know that. And please also know that if I know that I'm good and I got some of this, and I knew definitively that it was a scam of some sort, and I get on TV and he's acting that calm and that nonchalant, that is a clear indication that you know you don't have nothing to worry about, or at least that's what you think. Either you are real you're a sociopath to absolutely show no type of emotion, the way that we would think, even for someone. And remember, we don't have any proof that he says that he gave this man 500 X, Y, and Z, but you don't have any proof. Like you don't have a cashier's check you didn't shown, a regular check, nothing. You just said that. And remember, most of these people are just saying. So maybe there are some legitimate claims to some of these people probably knew it was a scam and some people didn't. But I'm trying to understand, how is it that you take $150,000, not in cashier's checks or anything, and give it to somebody in cash, and then you sign something and then say, I thought it was odd that he didn't count it? Like, I'm just I'm having difficulties understanding part of it just in regards to common sense. Even when you're handing over your money and you're investing in something that's supposed to be legitimate and you want it to be legitimized, why wouldn't you get a cashier's check? DJ Envy, for you to say, oh, I gave $500,000, but you don't even have any proof and you haven't shown proof that you did. They were accurate when they said, how come you also didn't file a lawsuit against this person, but you're so sorry you're not tied to him? That's what your story is, and you sticking to it. So, it's what it is. But I personally think that Mr. Pena was very smart. He was smart because he knew not to use any of that money to pay off anything, to not pay Nate bill. He probably already knew he was going to do. Do I believe the DJ Envy supposedly has nothing to do with it? Of course we don't believe that, because none of it makes any sense. And even if it was true that he didn't, his response is so just nonchalant, just so good. Like, yeah, I ain't had nothing to do with it. I don't know. He took people's money. It wasn't me. So it's whatever. I lost 500 grand too. And that's it. Right. Nobody, I don't care. Like, you're a DJ. I'm sure he make a pretty decent coin, but it's just giving, I'm good. It's just giving, no matter what, at the end of this, I'm gonna be sitting pretty. It gives the fact that he's so nonchalant and so passive about it rings bells to me, that not only do you know something that we don't know, but you're also you are in a position now where it just seems like no matter what, I'm good. That's the attitude I'm getting, which is unsettling, you know. But anyway, that's my take on it. My take on to the response part of this particular video, and the name of this particular video by LTTV is National News Blames DJ Envy in the Real Estate Scam, exposed as dot 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 LTTV. Take a look at it. But that's my take on it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my stuff will get better. I appreciate you, again, subscribing to my channel, and I just believe that that Mr. Pena was smart by not paying anything. I think it was very genius of him, if you're going to look at it from the respect of being smart enough not to use the money, um, to put in anything that he has now owned, to let it all just go into default, to not purchase anything, not be flossing, and like DJ did when he showed his fleet of cars. Someone made a comment just recently during the midst of this, that that was a dumb thing to do, because the first thing that you're going to assume is that, okay, you got these cars, it must have been, if this is the first time you've shown your fleet of cars or whatever, you're doing it right at the time when you supposedly had this thing going with this dude. So, nah, it was smart. I think he knew what he was doing. I don't think it was a dumb move for him to let everything go in default. And that was a dumb thing to do. And if you were smart, you want to take all this money, but yet your house is getting ready to go into foreclosure. You ain't paid no car notes. No, that was smart. Think about it. Think about it. No, it was actually very smart for him to do. The dummies were the ones who was having the pyramid scheme and taking people's money, and they going to Paris and France, and they flossing and carrying $20 million bags and purses and cars, and going on trips and paying their car note and buying, vacation homes out in Timbuktu and Zimbabwe and all these places. That was a brilliant thing to do, to just not do anything. Just have everything just go into default. Just nothing. Just you ain't got no money. You ain't see nothing he done paid. Nothing. Everything's just nothing. You can't nothing. You can't track it to an account. Anytime you pay those things, you got to pay it at the bank, through the mortgage. See, he was smart, in my opinion. Anyway, that's my thought process. You ain't got to agree with it, but I would have to say he was a smart man. I'll tell you that now. Is he going to get caught? Probably. Who knows? I'm just saying that in regards to him not paying anything, I don't necessarily see it as a dumb move. I think it was very smart, because at the end of the day, if you got 80 mil and you let something you got right now just go into default, it ain't like it's gonna matter, right?